how I use social media. We're going to jump straight in with focusing on conscious and active participation over passive consumption. The social media landscape has changed over the years, and it hasn't always been for the good. Right now, something remarkable is happening on TikTok, where the TikTok ban that hit America on the 19th of January seemed to wipe the whole slate clean and gave us all such a refreshing restart. And it opened my eyes and many other people's eyes to how toxic and negative social media spaces had become. So this presentation applies to all social media, but I'm referring specifically to TikTok, just for clarification. I'll do another presentation solely on Worldtok later on, but it's good to just introduce it to you now. This will be like the start of my next presentation that I'm doing, possibly next week or next month. So as an introduction, I'm Sam. I'm a pet sitter and a dog walker. I'm from County Meath in Ireland, and I've used social media since it began. I'm one of those lucky ones, that lucky generation that was here before the internet and got to see the dawn of the internet. I got to see a lot of new things come online and a lot of things die. It's been a real trip, I tell you. But I have to say, the reason I'm making this whole presentation and sharing this with you now is that I really was moved by the kindness and the diversity of different people that I met on Worldtok, on TikTok, once that ban happened and all of the stuff that was being pushed to the For You page just vanished. And it was just like a person just sitting there on their phone, and we were all just looking at each other like, hey, how's it going? What's your name? What do you do? And then suddenly we're actually making friends. It was fabulous. It's such an amazing human connection that I haven't seen or felt in such a long time. I'm still blown away by it. So yeah, I have met so many wonderful people through Worldtok that I'm compelled to share this and hopefully keep the wholesome, meaningful engagement alive. So we'll start straight in with what is an algorithm. An algorithm is a set of instructions for a computer program to follow. The best way I can describe that in the simplest terms possible is if you have an alarm clock and you tell your alarm clock, I want you to jingle jangle at 7 a.m. So you press the buttons, beep, bop, boop, alarm is set for 7 a.m. You've just given a set of instructions to that alarm clock. That's literally the most simple way of explaining it. Now, the algorithms on social media platforms are far more complex. Like, that's obvious. It's way more complicated than an alarm set, but the principle is the same. It's literally just a command. That's all it is. And the whole point of me telling you this is that you have control over it. You've control over what you see on your algorithm. And this is how you set your algorithm, what you engage with. And engagement is very simple. It's liking or disliking, making a comment, sharing something, saving something, watching the whole video or rewatching the clip, and following any creators. That is engaging. That is telling your algorithm, this is what I want. And it's really important that you understand that it does not matter if you like or dislike the thing. If somebody posts something horrendous and horrible and you dislike it, and you comment, I don't like this, this is horrible, and then you share it with your friend Mary, and you say, Mary, can you believe this is horrible, and then you save it because you want evidence that this horrible person did this horrible thing at this time and it really upset you. You've just engaged in 4 different ways, and your algorithm sees that engagement as good and it will push more of it. That is really important, that these programs are not smart. They're not intelligent like you and me are. They're not able to distinguish between good engagement or bad engagement. It is all engagement and it all counts as good. And likewise, disengagement. If you don't react to something that you like to see but you didn't react, or you didn't comment, or you didn't save or share it, it's not going to see it as a good thing. It sees anything you ignore is bad and it will push less of it. It is as simple as that. It reminds me actually in pet care of like training a dog. Like if a dog does a behavior that you don't want it to do, you need to ignore that behavior. And when the dog does the behavior that you want him to do, you give him loads of praise and encouragement to be like, oh, good boy, there's a good boy. Like it's boring. And it's hard because it's so simple, and our brains are not that simple. Our brains like to complicate everything. So very simply, liking, sharing, saving, all that stuff means, yes, I want more. Not engaging at all, do not do anything, just move away from it, means I don't want any more of it. That is the very simplest, best way to set your algorithm for yourself. So the circle of control is a tool that is used in therapy, and it helped me to realize what I cannot change and what I can. What I can control is what's in here. This is me. I live in here. I live in this tangly web and this nice light blue. I live in here. This is the time I go to work at. This is whether there's diesel in my van. This is how much charge is on my phone. This is whether or not I share this video. This is what we have for dinner today. If I can or can't pay my ESB bill, that's what's here. That's what matters. That's what I can effectively change in my life. This stuff out here, this green circle, is everything else in the whole world. This is who is the president of some other country that I have absolutely no say in and no vote or anything. So I can do zero about it. I can do something about what's in here. I cannot do anything about what's out here. Outside of my control is someone else's problem, and let them deal with it. I need to deal with what's in my control. That is my problem. That is what I can make effective change to. And I need to stop giving my attention to things that are outside of my control, because that just leaves me exhausted and nothing has changed. And in terms of social media, I can only control what I consume on my own social media. I have no control over what others post, share, say, or do on theirs. I can program my algorithm using engagement and disengagement, and also hashtags, which we'll get to in a little bit. Setting boundaries is a very important one too. So my own boundaries are what I do and do not want to see on my For You page. And this is where very, very simple, a certain person's face absolutely repulses me. I do not want to see his stupid face. So anybody who shares anything with his stupid face on it, I am going to say, not interested in this. And if the same person keeps repeatedly posting the same stupid face over and over again, I will block that person, I will delete that person, I will unfollow that person, because I have the right to protect my own peace on my own For You page. This is my personal For You page, and I get to say whose stupid face gets to be on my For You page and whose doesn't. And I am allowed to do that. When is it time to block a person? What do I tolerate and where do I draw the line? Whose stupid face do I want to see and whose stupid face do I not want to see? What do I want to get from my time on social media? And this is all questions to do with setting boundaries. Where do I set the boundaries myself? How much am I willing to share on social media? If I'm a creator, how deep or how far am I willing to go into my own personal life or into my private life or into like anything? Where are your boundaries? Where do I set all of my boundaries and enforce those boundaries? The most important boundary when it comes to social media is setting a time boundary. How many hours are available in a day for social media, and what is the cutoff point? Only you know that, and only you can do that, but it will be a much healthier, much happier experience online. Even follow some of these steps. Take something from what you hear here. I also ask myself, what do I want from social media? So again, why am I using this app? Why am I here? What value does it add to my life? How does it make me feel to be here? This is a really important one that I don't think a lot of us were even aware before the shutdown, is how the different posts and different sharings of people screaming at each other and stuff, how did that actually make me feel? Do I want to be feeling these feelings when I click in here? What feelings do I want to feel when I click in here? And just become aware. Becoming aware is always the first step to any sort of change and any sort of healing. Another question, am I adding value to others' lives when I share here? And I'm obviously adding loads of value to people's lives because I share the most amazing things. No, I share dogs and I share cats, and to people who love dogs and cats and other animals and the outdoors, of course it's adding value to their lives and the value they add to my life. When I open my phone and I get to see the Northern Lights, oh my God, I'm like a Labrador who's just after getting a new toy. I swear to God, if I had a tail, it'd be wagging. And that's what I want. I want to feel good when I log in. I want to see things that lift me up, and I want to share things that will lift others up. And it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes I will get political. I try not to, but like how? Anyway, Basically, bottom line, what do I want to see? What do I not want to see? And use the tools that I have. Use the engagement for what I want to see. Use the disengagement for what I don't want to see. There are some questions to ask yourself to find out what is working well and what needs to change. Very important point. Only you can change things for yourself. And then for those who don't know, FYP equals For You page. And the For You page is the response that you're getting back from your individual algorithm that you control. You've set that page with your behavior online. And basically, what do you want to see more or less of, and act accordingly? That's really the main message out of this. And another thing, what can I change? Mentally, you can change your expectations of what it is you expect other people to do for free on this platform that you're using for free. Be more authentic when you're sharing. Change your pace of consuming content. Watch slower videos through to the end. Really slow down. This was a huge one for me, to slow down. I don't know how many days, hours and days and months and weeks I was spending. Do you know when you're driving somewhere and you're always driving there, and then you just suddenly get there and you're like, Jesus, I don't remember any of that journey. That autopilot kind of just doing it anyway, that's really, really bad. That's what feeds the toxicity, in my opinion. That sort of just scrolling, doom scrolling, I think they call it. It's like, I've no idea what I'm doing here, what's happening. That's not good for me. That's not good for engagement. That's not good for creators. That's that zombie behavior. And we're not zombies, dudes. We're people. We're living human beings. We have souls and fabulous personalities, and some maybe not so fabulous personalities, but that's okay. That's okay. We're humans. We have flaws. We have insecurities. Treat each person as a person and give them respect. And you will get respect back. It's amazing how fast that respect comes back when you give it. You will get it. And learn to disengage instead of responding to rage bait or nonsense posting. That was a huge one. And that's how the whole thing got so out of control before. People who are making money out of these apps, they need to make money. They need to pay their bills. And if everyone's engaging with what Sarah Louise has been doing, which is like poking people with sticks, and everyone is over there engaging with her poking people with sticks, even if the engagement is stop poking people with sticks, that's nasty. It's like, oh, well, I'm a creator and that's what's getting all the attention, so maybe I should start poking people with metal poles. And then it just goes worse and worse and worse. So stop it. Like, yes, people are doing like stupid stuff, but we as consumers are reacting with this stupid stuff. So disengage with the nonsense and limit your time online. Consciously engage with the ones who add value to your For You page. Physically, change your settings to private or to public. Remove or delete or block people, and even delete the whole app if it's bothering you that much. I did this recently. I deleted Facebook and Instagram. Get that stuff off of my phone altogether. And you know what? Best thing I ever did. On TikTok now, you can change your username, change your profile picture. You want to better represent your authentic self. So be yourself. I'm more likely going to follow somebody who has an actual picture of a human face on their profile picture, or maybe some craft or something that you do. Now, my profile picture is my logo, but that's okay. That's my business. My face is very visible on my posts that I do because I'm a real person and I speak from the heart. And that does come across, I think, hopefully. But yeah, use your face and be natural and stop following trends. There's only one you in this world. You are your own unique selling point. Just you. So be that. Let us all see who you are and come on board and join the rest of us who are all being who we are. Set your own targets and share what you want to share. Ignore the prompts from social media company demanding X amount of time, certain, hit this badge, hit this goal, you're so close to so many trophies, and then you'll be able to level up to stars. Like, this is how they get you hooked to trying to go live 3 times, try to go live 7 times, try to get 30 minutes of live every half hour. Like, what? With the promise of reward. There's a promise of reward all the time, but I'll tell you, I did 3 or 4 lives, hated doing it, felt so uncomfortable and so unsafe, and I got 4 cents, 4 whole cent, lads. Get out of it. Just stop trying to do that. Just stop it. Well, that's a message to me. That's not to you. Okay. I'll very briefly go through how Worldtok works, because there's going to be a whole other slideshow on Worldtok. But at the moment, that's kind of covered how to set your algorithm. If you want to get involved with Worldtok and you're on TikTok, add your flags to your name. Whatever country or continent you're on, put those flags after your name. I'm sure you've seen other people with flags after their name. That means they're part of Worldtok. They like Worldtok. They want to be part of Worldtok. They want to be seen as an outside of the USA creator, because there are creators outside of the USA, and they deserve time on your For You page as much as anyone else does. There's a whole world out there. Whatever country or continent you're on, I also use like little animal emojis, because I am an animal enthusiast, and I have a LGBT flag because I'm part of the LGBT community. And that's to make it very clear from the very start, this is who I am. This is what you can expect to see on my page. If you are anyway a hater or a disapprover of LGBT people or content, don't follow me. That flag is telling you who I am. This is what you can expect when you come to my page. Actively follow people with flags. Exactly. The flags are assigned to you that these are good Worldtok people that want to engage with the real person. For example, if I was like, well, I only want to support Irish creators, I don't want anything to do with any creator from outside of Ireland, I can just use the hashtag Irish, hashtag Irish, hashtag Ireland TikTok, all those different hashtags. How hashtags work are, it's like a lumping of this content. A real life version of that is written there. It's like sorting boxes in the post office. So you've got like millions of letters, and then the sorting boxes is like, let's just like divide this stuff up into large categories. Anything that's Irish or Ireland, anything that uses Irish or Ireland hashtag, will be put together in that lump. And if you use hashtag Irish or look up, search in your search box for hashtag Irish, you will be shown loads and loads and loads of hashtag Irish content. That's how to try and cultivate another level to cultivating your own For You page and telling your algorithm what you want is to use hashtags. Find your niche. I'm sure you already know what your niche is. My niche is pets, wildlife, and nature. That's what I want to see, and that's also what I share. And I suppose the most important thing is to just be real and be honest and be kind. If you want to take a step further and be a creator yourself, put yourself out there, now is a great time to do that. Post a little video about yourself, record for 30 seconds or for a minute or for 3 minutes or for 6 minutes, however long you want. Put the camera in front of your face. Let us see what you look like. Say hello. Say what your name is. Say a bit about where you're from or what you like or what you'd like to do. Maybe there's something interesting about you that you'd like to share with the world to try and connect and make friends. Anything at all. Say you like cats, or you like to do sewing, or you like making mittens. I don't know. Whatever. Just do a little bit about yourself and don't be afraid, or be afraid and do it anyway, because people are extremely kind on this Worldtok. Another great tool for Worldtok is right here. All of these different hashtags, and it is by no means all of them. There are other hashtags as well that are going around. I saw metric talk, which is basically making a joke at the United States being the only ones that don't use the metric system. Like the rest of the world out here, you see the US is like, it's here. The US is like here, and then you've got South America, South America, and then you've got Canada up here. Hello, Canada. And you've got like Greenland. Where's Greenland? Greenland. And you've got Europe over here. You've got Little Ireland. Hello, Little Ireland. And there's España and Portugal. And you've got Africa. Look at the size of beautiful big Africa. And you've got the Middle East over here. And you've got like India and Russia up here and China and all of these Polynesian, is that right? Indonesia, Malaysia, all of those lads, Australia, Australia, and New Zealand. So there is a whole world out there waiting to be discovered. In summary, social media turned quite toxic over time. I believe that's because of monetization and overconsumption as passive users who weren't really engaging. The loudest voices were dominating the For You page for me. The reset on January 19th opened my eyes to how negative all of the online spaces were. A lot of people noticed a calm and lovely peace to being online when the loud and obnoxious content was no longer pushed to the For You page. We all started to get along and engage with each other with peace and respect. Now that the ban is over, the old way is creeping back, but there's a lot of people who actively choose to enjoy the slower pace of looking at the moon, walking in the woods, or sewing and crafting without the drama and the shouting. In conclusion, the problems with social media lies squarely on the shoulders of the owners, the CEOs, and the ones making millions and billions on the back of the creators. As consumers of social media entertainment, we can be more aware of our own impact on these people who are just trying to make a living. Blaming individual creators is like blaming waiting staff for the quality of the steak. There are practical steps that we can make today. Literally just being kind to people, like treating people like they're real people, because they are. Kindness costs you nothing. Follow some smaller creators who suit your unique vibe. Do not be afraid to stand out. There's people in all kinds of genres out there just waiting to be discovered. And there's a whole world to be explored. Set your boundaries and enforce them, and train your brain to disengage. So do not take the bait. That's the hardest part, but that's where the real change will happen. Do not take the bait.